Honda's recent bombshell has sent ripples across the auto industry. The company has officially dialed back its ambitious EV strategy, slashing planned electrification investment by roughly $20 billion, from 10 trillion yen, $69 billion, to around 7 trillion yen, $48 billion, through fiscal year 2031. This dramatic pivot isn't due to wavering environmental commitments, but rather a pragmatic response to a rapidly evolving business landscape marked by softening EV demand, shifting environmental policies, and geopolitical turbulence like US tariffs. In its place, Honda is placing renewed emphasis on hybrid vehicles, aiming to sell 2.2 million HEVs annually by 2030, and to introduce 13 next-generation hybrid models starting from around 2027 onward. Though this echoes a strategic retreat from its earlier goal of having EVs make up 30% of sales, as that target now appears out of reach, it underscores Honda's belief that hybrids are the optimal bridge toward a zero-emission future. By rebalancing its resources, Honda is doubling down on technology, advancing next-gen ADAS and intelligent platforms, while maintaining flexibility to scale EV production in the long term as market conditions warrant. This isn't retreat, it's a re-engineering of the brand's path forward, one that both responds to today's realities and keeps the door open for tomorrow's innovations. Absolutely! Picking up right where the market-wide shockwave segment left off, here's an expanded deep dive into Strategy Pivot Exposed, now transformed into a seamless, engaging, and richly informative narrative. With the auto industry already reeling from Honda's electrification recalibration, the Strategy Pivot Exposed reveals just how deliberate and calculated the company's shift truly is. In a stunning admission, CEO Toshihiro Maebe confirmed that Honda will downgrade its EV sales ambitions for 2030 from the once bold target of 30% down to an estimated 20%, acknowledging the harsh realities of waning consumer appetite and regulatory ambiguity. But the real jaw-dropping move came in the numbers. Honda is trimming its electrification and software R&D budget by a whopping 3 trillion yen, approximately $21 billion, retracting its original 10 trillion yen, $69 billion, pledge down to 7 trillion yen, $48 billion, through fiscal year 2031. This is not a momentary recess, it's a definitive strategic pivot driven by slowing EV adoption, inflated production costs, geopolitical headwinds, and softened environmental policy mandates. Rather than abandon electrification entirely, Honda is recalibrating its path forward, with hybrids taking the front seat. The plan? Launch 13 new next-generation hybrid models globally between 2027 and 2030, targeting a monumental 2.2 to 2.3 million annual hybrid sales by 2030, vastly up from its modest 868,000 hybrids sold in 2024. To facilitate this revamped strategy, Honda's Marysville, Ohio plant is being retooled to support both EV and hybrid vehicle production, building adaptability into its operations. They're also sharpening their technology edge, designing 3 new hybrid powertrains by 2027 across small, mid-size, and full-size segments that are engineered to offer a 10% boost in fuel economy, all while reducing system costs by over 30% compared to their current hybrid offerings. Still, Honda isn't closing the door on EVs forever. The company remains committed to achieving 100% zero-emission vehicle sales by 2040, including EVs and fuel cell models, only now, it's a more measured, patient approach. This strategic retreat from aggressive electrification isn't just a budgetary trimming, it's a bold repositioning. Honda is refocusing on hybrids as a pragmatic bridge to a sustainable future, enhanced by incremental advancements in hybrids and ADAS technologies while staying agile enough to re-accelerate EV development when the market rebounds. It's not retreat, but realignment, an adaptive dance between market pressures and long-term vision. Want to explore how Honda's tech roadmap, manufacturing flexibility, and competitive positioning are evolving in this context? Just say the word, we can unpack that next. Safety crisis hits the spotlight. In a startling development, the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration, NHTSA, has launched a sweeping investigation into over 1.4 million Honda and Acura vehicles across the US, an alarming expansion of scrutiny into a troubling trend of engine failures. This probe, initiated on August 20, 2025, centers on defects in the 3.5-liter J-Series V6 engines, where connecting rod bearing failures pose a serious risk of complete engine seizure. Affected models include Acura TLX, 2018 to 2020, Acura MDX, 2016 to 2020, Honda Pilot, 2016 to 2020, Honda Odyssey, 2018 to 2020, Honda Ridgeline, 2017 to 2019. This investigation stems from more than 414 consumer reports, including cases of engine failure, crashes, and even fires, raising concerns among even the most loyal brand fans. While no injuries or fatalities have been recorded so far, the sheer volume of serious incidents has expanded watchdog attention well beyond the scope of a previous 2023 recall addressing crankshaft defects in 249,000 vehicles. Crucially, NHTSA emphasizes that these recent failures appear distinct from the earlier recall, suggesting a different root cause, deepening the safety crisis and prompting broader examination. Compounding Honda's troubles, warranty claims related to engine issues have surged, from 1,450 in 2024 to 2,598 in 2025, highlighting persistent quality control and supply chain challenges. Public sentiment has also turned increasingly fraught. In forums like Reddit, many owners report similar engine failures, with often exorbitant out-of-pocket repair costs and inadequate support from Honda. Only heard it. Semi-loud ticking noise present at 2,000 RPM and below brought it to the dealer. My Honda Pilot engine blew a few weeks ago at around 75,000 miles. Will never buy a Honda again. A frustrated owner recounting first-hand experience of rod bearing failure and poor corporate response. Our 2017 Pilot Touring had at 70,000 miles and the engine had a bad rod-bearing crankshaft failure. Had to replace entire engine and Honda keeps jerking us around. Another owner sharing a painful case of costly engine replacement and lack of manufacturer accountability. Why this matters for viewer. Consumer awareness: if you own one of the affected models, your engine might be at risk, even if not previously recalled. Safety first, understand the signs, abnormal ticking, stalling, and act promptly to avoid sudden breakdowns or accidents. Expect the unexpected. Warranty coverage may not extend to all builds, leaving some owners facing repair bills in the thousands. Follow development. With the inquiry in progress, the possibility of an expanded recall or additional remedies remains open. Hybrid resurgence versus full EV retreat amid mounting uncertainty in the electric vehicle (EV) market. Honda's recent strategic recalibration reveals a bold, pragmatic pivot. The company is dialing back its electrification goals and doubling down on hybrid technology as an essential bridge toward a zero-emission future. This shift reflects both the changing pulse of consumer behavior and the industry's broader reorientation under market pressures. Recent data confirms that Honda has slashed its planned investment in electrification and software by approximately 30%, from 10 trillion yen, around $69 billion, to 7 trillion yen, about $48 billion, through fiscal year 2031. As part of this realignment, the company has revised its once ambitious goal for EVs to make up 30% of global auto sales by 2030. It now anticipates they will account for closer to 20%. Instead of abandoning electrification, Honda is leveraging hybrids, specifically its e-HEV line, as a high-efficiency, cost-effective solution that resonates with current consumer preferences. The company plans to launch 13 next-generation hybrid models worldwide between 2027 and 2030, aiming to sell 2.2 million hybrids annually by 2030. These next-gen powertrains are not just about maintaining momentum, they're about improvement, promising greater than or equal to 10% better fuel economy and a 30 to 50% reduction in system costs compared to older models. Strategically, this shift offers Honda flexibility amid market volatility. Its Marysville, Ohio assembly facility is being retooled to produce both EVs and hybrids on the same lines, a savvy move that allows Honda to pivot production based on consumer demand. At the same time, the company is shelving projects like a $10.7 billion EV plant in Canada and delaying a hydrogen fuel cell facility in Japan, reflections of cautious spending in light of uncertain market shifts. Despite this pragmatic tug-of-war, Honda maintains that EVs remain central to its long-term carbon-neutral vision. The company is proceeding with its Zero Series EV lineup, software-defined, AI-enhanced, and architecturally advanced, with the first models slated to debut as early as 2026. This balanced approach, hybrids now, EVs later, demonstrates calculated patience rather than retreat. This industry-wide retraction from aggressive EV plans is no anomaly. Many automakers, from Nissan and Volvo to Porsche and Mercedes-Benz, are scaling back or postponing EV rollouts amid similar financial, logistical, and consumer adoption headwinds. In Australia, Honda offers a telling microcosm: hybrids already represent 50% of its sales, with that figure projected to reach 80 to 90% in the near future, as consumers appreciate the seamless, familiar transition they offer over more disruptive, infrastructure-dependent battery EVs. At its core, Honda's shift reflects a bigger truth: electrification isn't a one-size-fits-all journey. Hybrids serve as a practical midterm anchor, marrying performance, cost efficiency, and consumer comfort, while preserving the potential for future full EV expansion. Why this matters for viewers and investors. Balanced storytelling: you don't need to be an EV skeptic to appreciate Honda's nuanced approach. This is about adaptation, not abandonment. Tech meets reality: viewers understand that EVs aren't always viable yet. Hybrids provide real-world usability with reduced environmental impact. Strategic foresight: Honda's flexibility, both in production and capital allocation, demonstrates sound decision-making in a fragmented, evolving market. Global implications: this reflects a broader shift across markets, not just in one country, highlighting changing consumer sentiment and policy environments worldwide. Let me know if you'd like to explore the tech specifics behind the next-gen HEV systems, Honda's Zero Series EV roadmap, or how this strategy stacks up against competitors. Happy to deep dive further. So there you have it. Honda's electrification bombshell isn't just a retread of old territory, it's a full-on strategic rebirth. The company has skillfully recalibrated its path forward, dialing back aggressive EV targets and large-scale investments while spotlighting the sophisticated resurgence of hybrid powertrains. By embracing this hybrid-first approach, rolling out 13 next-generation HEVs starting in 2027, elevating hybrid sales to over 2.2 million by 2030, and equipping them with cutting-edge ADAS and cost-saving platforms, Honda is crafting a flexible, intelligent bridge to a sustainable future. At the same time, their EV vision isn't dead, it's simply more patient. The upcoming Zero Series, AI-driven platforms, and long-term carbon-neutral goals underscore that EVs remain part of the long game. This isn't retreat, it's strategic finesse. Honda's repositioning reveals the realities of the auto industry's shifting pulse, market uncertainties, infrastructure hurdles, and evolving consumer expectations. So whether you're bullish on hybrids, still holding out for EVs, or simply trying to understand where the road leads, this recalibration deserves your attention. Thanks for watching. If you want to go deeper, I've got videos lined up dissecting Honda's Zero Series EV roadmap, the tech behind its next-gen hybrid systems, and how this pivot stacks up against moves from rivals like Toyota, Ford, and GM. Hit that like button, subscribe, and ring the bell to stay inside the fast lane of future mobility. See you in the next one.